Alright, Assault Mode Centurion games. This is going to be match 1 up against Odeon. And we're going first here, and this is actually a really solid hand. While we do have a couple of soft bricks, we have 3 cards that each give us full access to a different engine. Which is great, because they have a Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis, so they managed to pop the first bit of our combo, but we managed to search a follow-up piece, and we haven't normal summoned yet, so we can keep going. We can actually keep going through Disruption on this hand, which means that the deck is how it's working how I intended. So we're gonna end up on like basically full board here. We can go through the whole Centurion thing. We pitch the other assault mode activate, so we're only gonna get to use one this game. That's okay. Actually, if we make the Nightwing Cleric, we could set it from grave, so we could use another one if the game goes long, but we not so worried about it. Otherwise, we're ending on effectively full board here. We're going to make both of the Centurions so that we can put 2 monsters in the back row, set a couple of traps, and pass turn. So through a Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis popping 2, we still have 3 Omni Negates and a quick Synchro and like just follow up, which is crazy, right? Deck looks real good here. They go Treasures of the Kings, we negate that because that's an important card. They go Sudden Thunderswamp, that's not an important card, so we don't really care. They go to pass the turn here, so I just figure I'll Synchro anyways. We make Primera Primus just to search something and pop one of their set traps so they don't get to use it on their turn. Unfortunately for us, I guess, the Sudden Thunderswamp can go get another Apophis, the Swamp Deity, for them to set, but really against this board, that it's not gonna do it. Place 2 back in the back row, and they scoop it up, because that's definitely game. So, on to game 3, actually. I'll tell you right now, I skipped game 2 of this match because they went first, they activated D-Fissure and had full combo, we had no hand traps, and I just said screw it because we can't play through that. So, on to game 3. Match 1, game 3, our hand is much worse. This hand can't really extend through interaction on the normal summon, despite the fact that we have 3 starters. That's my big problem with the assault mode stuff in general. Thankfully, they don't seem to actually have anything this time. They do not have a Fleur-de-Lis to pop 2 things. So we managed to do full combo again, but this is game 3. They knew they were going second, so they're probably pretty prepared for it. So we'll have to see what the end board does into some interaction here. I don't know. What am I supposed to talk about when the combo is the same combo? I'll be honest, I didn't play that much of this deck. You're only getting 2 full matches, and I cut out game 2 of this one because it was nothing. That's just because 1, the combo's the exact same every time. 2, you just fold every time if the opponent has interaction on your turn. And 3, I don't really like assault mode. They go for MST to pop a back row. We negate it because we might as well. What was there was a reason I sent Primera to grave there. I think just so I could like set another card or something. I don't know. They tribute Auxila for Santa Claus, which is wrong because if they had tributed Stardust, that gets rid of 2 Omni Negates. We still would have had follow up. And like here, they go to end phase because their hand is just a bunch of traps. We pop 1 along with the Santa Claus. That was an Apophis the Serpent, which is the most important one to pop, but obviously you don't know, but if you hit that one, it really stifles their plan. And then they pass back to us with 4 cards in hand, so they like say, screw it, I've got 3 set cards, you've got 2 known Omni Negates and follow up, that's gonna do it. That's what the deck does. Complete and total lockdown. A couple pieces of interaction here and there just don't really do it against us because it is such a powerful end board. So let's go on to match 2. Now match 2 was actually a really good one. We're going second into the newly improved Dragon Rulers. They got a bunch of points off the list recently. They go for Super Rejuve in draw phase, and so I decide instead of holding the Fulos, I'm just going to pitch it in response, because now if they choose to pass, they are wasting their Super Rejuve, or if they choose to like make a half board, we're at least gaining some value off of it. That was my thought. I'd really prefer they pass, but they decide no. They're just gonna say screw it and go all in anyways, and we're gonna have to do our best here. They're playing Dragon Maids in there as well, which is crazy because they're pretty pointed, but I guess they just have the points available now with Dragon Rulers reduced. And like, our draws are okay. They're like fine, but this is kind of my problem with this deck is in this hand right now, after all of these draws, we have one card capable of extending through a single disruption. Outside of that, it's all normal summon starters. We pitch Ghost Bell, they do another Super Rejuve on end phase, draw into another Super Rejuve, do another Super Rejuve on end phase, and so they've got 1.5 million cards. Our Ghost Bell stop the worst of the damages, but they still have a couple of disruptions. Nibiru shows up exactly one draw too late, but we're going to see what we can do. We'll start with the Ascator before we commit to a normal summon, because we don't want to normal summon Sentinel and then like Tribute, go get Psyreflector, and Psyreflector get stopped. That would really suck. We'd rather they hit the Ascator because it's a less important combo piece. And like we go Assault Zone to try and at least force out something. Again, I don't want them to hit a Synchro. If they hit one of our Synchros, we're kind of in hot water here. But if they hit the Assault Zone and they actually negated the activation with Eclipse, fun rulings fact, Dual Evolution Assault Zone can only be activated once per turn. If the activation is negated, it was not properly activated. So because they used that there, we can still put another Dual Evolution on board and get all of the effects of it. So that's what we're going to do now. Like, that was best case scenario for us. They go to show the Nightwing Cleric's set, which basically means that we are off of Stardust Dragon Assault mode for the turn and probably for the game. But we can bring back the Nightwing Cleric and use the second ability at least. You know, we're kind of playing around it. We've mostly this entire time just been baiting out any interaction that we can do because we just can't extend if they hit the right place, and they have not hit the right place. They've hit the wrong place repeatedly, which allows us to actually keep going. So that's cool. Like, the deck, again, it's working as intended. I built this one to actually have some ability to extend through interaction, and it's actually breaking a, like, 3/4 board off of Dragon Ruler, Dragon Maid, which is relatively impressive. It's a pretty fun game. We can't get to everything, though, so we're just going to set a bunch of back row on our Centurions and pass, and they've got 1.5 million cards in hand. They go Primite Fusion here. I should have negated this. I was thinking it was going into the Primite Fusion. It was not. It was going into First of the Dragons, which is a lot harder to beat, which is why I just, like, go into... I use my cards to jump forward, become monsters, so that I can Synchro Summon into Stardust Dragon Assault mode here was the goal. They go First of the Dragon Lords, and then they can, you know... What did they pop off of that? Oh yeah, destroy all spell traps. You can't pop stand-up while we have a monster card, so they couldn't do that. And we end up going into Primera Primus instead because they pop our Assault mode activate, so we can't do that. So instead I just pop one of their cards and our field spell just to get them off the board. They go into Ether Barrel. Okay, that's not the worst normal summon. Dark World Dealings is kind of awkward, and we draw into a stupid Stardust Dragon Assault mode and have to pitch it. But it's, you know, it's on them. We'll see what they can do. We've got Dark Holes if they clear our board but don't kill us. We've got follow-up, not like an insane amount. We've used a lot of resources already, but we can do it. Unfortunately, they go Disaster, and Disaster banishes our board and graveyard, at which point we cannot win this one. So, good game, but like this first one, we take the L. Let's go to game 2. Alright, we've seen what they can do going first. Time for us to show them what we do going first. This is exactly what we want to do. We don't have enough... like going first stuff in the extra deck to take out every piece of interaction. Unfortunately, that's why the Dark Hole is still in the deck and still in our hand, frustratingly, but otherwise the hand is quite good. For the fact that I didn't play too many games on Omega this week with this deck, like, they went pretty well. My hands were surprisingly good. I can't say the same about locals, because I did take this to locals this week. That frustrated me to no end, and, like, felt more like the standard experience for a deck that is this high-rolly and kind of bricky and garnety and blecky. So that was annoying, but on Omega, for whatever reason, the shuffler liked me. We make a standard end board, except this time we had extra materials and they didn't interact with us, so we make a Stardust Dragon so that we can immediately, whenever we want to, go Assault Mode, turn it into our 4th Omni Negate. This is the 4 Omni Negate board that this deck is capable of. True Awakening can send a guy Assault counters and negate. We can use Assault Mode Activate for Stardust, get another negate, blah blah blah. They rip 2 Super Rejuves, send some cards to grave. We negate that and then make our 2nd Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, and we negate the Ether Barrel normal, and all of a sudden they have very few cards in hand and they just scoop it up. So let's go to game 3, where we are again on the draw, and that's not where we want to be, so let's see how it goes. Okay, game 3, we're on the draw, and our hand isn't too bad. We've got Nibiru and Dark Hole and 2 special summon starters. Unfortunately, the stupid freaking Stardust Dragon is in our hand, so we can't summon one of them throughout this game. But let's see how bad the damage is anyways. And it's this game that I realized that they're not just playing Dragon Rulers, they're playing, like, deep draw Dragon Rulers. They're playing the, let's see, Dark World Dealings. They were playing the 7-level sword, whatever, 7-star sword or whatever it's called. Like, just full on deep draw. Yeah, this frickin' guy, the Sacred Sword of 7 stars. They're going. We've got interaction. We haven't had an opportunity to use it yet. They summon out a title, search a card, Dark World Dealings. We pitch, what did I pitch? The Nibiru, because they're out of cards in hand, basically. And they haven't summoned very much, so I'm figuring they were digging and they've kind of run out of gas. I'm not super familiar with the Dragon Ruler strategy, but, like, they should be able to do something with this loaded of a graveyard, right? They'll do stuff when banished from grave, but I guess they just don't have ways to banish at all. So, yeah, they end up just, like, we Ghost Bell the Primite Fusion, which was their last thing they had, and they just kind of scoop it up. Fizzled out somehow. I don't know how this deck is trying to work, and it looked a hell of a lot scarier in game 1, but they just completely fizzled out there despite having all of the... They didn't normal summon the kitchen. Why did they not normal summon kitchen? That's at least something. I don't know what they were going for. I don't know if this was Exodia or what, but that's gonna be our last game, and somehow they handed the deck that is really bad going second the victory on a silver platter. That's gonna be it for this one, guys. Don't buy Assault Mode. Don't play Assault Mode as an engine. It will be more frustrating than it is worth. Go play Centurion in a better deck, either pure with, like, White Forest or something. Just, like, Assault Mode, very frustrating as an engine. I'm glad to be done with it for the week. I hope you guys still liked it, though, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.